Доброго дня, шановні друзі. Good morning to everybody who is English speaking. I was told that the guests were able to connect. Most of our guests today are Ukrainian speaking, and we are very proud of our language, so I will continue in Ukrainian. But there is a translation provided, and I hope everybody can use translation as it will be instructed in Zoom. Шановні друзі, вітаю! Мені було сказано, що я можу починати з привітання, з нашої розмови, яка стосується ми назвали це біометанові розмови. Я відразу зазначу, що формально моя посада є показана на екрані. Я директор з міжнародних та регуляторних питань оператора ГТС України, але насправді сьогодні я тут як ентузіастка стосовно розвитку біометану в Україні. Біометан у всіх на слуху, але конкретних проєктів поки що ми не маємо. Але є в житті, які ось будуть підключені. Ми б хотіли сьогодні разом з гостями, які, я сподіваюся, я поки що не бачу на екрані інших гостей, я бачу тільки себе, що мене трошки засмучує. Але я сподіваюся, що є представники із політичних кіл, урядовців, тих, кого ми запросили, хто може допомогти компаніям, які також були запрошені, тим, щоб розвивати їх проекти у нас в Україні. Сьогодні у нас є чудові спікери, які є і ентузіастами, і практиками. І мені би хотілося, щоб ми як компанія змогли надати їм платформу для того, щоб в кінці події всі стали ще більше повірили в біометан, потенціал якого на наше переконання дуже великий. Ми як компанія, яка транспортує газ, хотіли би бачити не менше 1 мільярду кубів на рік уже найближчими роками. І ми надамо можливість виступити прекрасним спікерам для того, щоб вони поділилися практичним досвідом реалізації біометанових проєктів в Чехії. Сьогодні наш основний спікер – це Мартін Шварц. Він є головою секції біометану Чеської асоціації біомаси BIOM. Це менеджер із великим досвідом роботи в новій енергетиці і циркулярній економіці. Він успішно адвокатував проекти з розвитку біометану та впроваджував їх разом з світовими практиками з декарбонізації в своїй власній країні. Він розвивав промислове біометанове партнерство з Євросоюзом в національних і міжнародних організаціях. Мій колега Микола Каденський також стисло розкаже про зусилля ОГТСУ в напрямку підтримки українських біометанових проєктів. Ми серйозно ставимося до перспектив біометану і хотіли би бачити результатом цієї дискусії багато питань від всіх учасників до наших спікерів і до нас, як до персоналу ОГТСУ. Під час виступів наших спікерів ви зможете писати ваші питання в чат. Скористайтеся цією можливістю, тому що це полегшить консолідацію цих питань, і ми зможемо потім їх оперативно передати як перші питання до наших спікерів. Однак, якщо ви хочете задати своє питання особисто, ви зможете підняти руку, натиснути відповідну кнопку «Підняти руку», і ми надамо вам слово. Особисто я взяла ручку і планую вчитися на успіхах та помилках дружньої нам Чехії. Сподіваюся також, що пан Мартін та інші наші гості з сьогоднішнього заходу побачать собі нових партнерів та можливості в Україні. Бо найкращий спосіб допомогти Україні сьогодні – це робити бізнес з Україною. На цьому моє вступне слово завершено. І я пропоную Миколі зробити стислий огляд того, яка позиція ОГТСУ стосовно біометанових проєктів. Дякую.
Доброго дня, колеги. Дякую, Ольга Валентинівна, за представлення. Оператор ГТС другий рік веде системну роботу по розблокуванню потенціалу біометану в Україні для підвищення енергетичної безпеки як нашої держави, так і участі у системних ініціативах Євросоюзу, таких як REPowerEU і забезпечення можливості експорту чистих відновлювальних газів до Європи. Я Кадинський Микола, начальник управління розвитку мережі, і якраз ми співпрацюємо, наша команда, з інвесторами, з всіма стейкхолдерами, державними органами по розвитку біометанової галузі. Я продемонструю коротку презентацію, яка дозволить розуміти деякі наші зусилля краще. Ми зацікавлені у приєднанні нових клієнтів, які будуть замовниками послуг з транспортування газу, відновлювального вже біометану, використовуючи інфраструктуру газотранспортної системи. На екрані ви бачите таку ілюстрацію надихаючу. Ми очікуємо в наступному році бачити в Україні такі майданчики біометанових виробництв, приєднаних до газової інфраструктури, до інфраструктури газотранспортної системи та газорозподільчих мереж. Оператор ГТС проаналізував переваги та, скажімо так, виклики різних підходів приєднання до оператора розподілу або оператора ГТС і демонструє можливості для того, щоб обирати інвесторам завжди. І даємо таку інформаційну підтримку, в яких випадках краще робити вибір на користь приєднання до інфраструктури ГРМ або ГТС. Це завжди кейс-бай-кейс, залежить від розташування, від потужності, тисків та багато інших факторів. Ми аналізували і багато співпрацюємо з європейськими колегами для того, щоб бути в одному інформаційному полі по тому, які параметри і вимоги до природного газу та до біометану зараз у Європі, для того, щоб найкращим чином реалізувати, допомогти реалізувати державну політику, яка сприятиме розвитку біометанової галузі та наймасштабнішим інтеграціям цих підприємств до газової інфраструктури. У нас є, скажімо, покроковий алгоритм приєднання, який класичним чином працює з видобувниками природного газу, і вже 3 компанії його проходять по біометановому треку. Тобто навіть у цей важкий рік повномасштабної війни з Росією, не дивлячись на терористичні атаки на енергетичну інфраструктуру, враження об'єктів газотранспортної системи, теж ми видали 3 технічні умови на приєднання для виробників біометану і очікуємо, що серед них будуть ті найсміливіші, хто вже в наступному році приєднається до газотранспортної системи і буде подавати перші куби біометану. Ми розуміємо, що очікування і темпи досить серйозні, тому що для досягнення цих цілей у 1 мільярд кубометрів, про який згадала Ольга Валентинівна, нам потрібно приєднувати у спокійному такому темпі 2-3 заводи щомісяця, починаючи з січня 2023 року. Це дуже амбітна мета, яку треба досягати системною спільною роботою і залученням саме міжнародних інвесторів і партнерів, які мають досвід масштабування та трейдингу цих енергоносіїв. Тут у нас буде зараз зрозуміло, які документи можна подавати. Ця презентація буде надана тим, хто зацікавлений, для того, щоб приєднатися. Особливим напрямком, таким незвичним для агросектору є трейдинг, і набуття статусу суб'єкта ринку природного газу. Це важливий аспект цього нового бізнесу, і я сподіваюся, що наш гість сьогодні дасть більше інформації нам про те, які є опції по трейдингу, по експорту в Європі, як це працює. Тому що ми розуміємо, що існують різні варіанти. Є класичний, коли біометан торгується як природний газ через віртуальну платформу. Також ми проаналізували різні сценарії, яким чином біометан може експортуватися з України. Водночас ми розуміємо, що це все базується на існуючій законодавчій базі і буде вдосконалюватися по мірі того, як буде масштабуватися виробництво і буде вже можливість для того, щоб цей енергоносій потрапив в мережу. Різні існують, скажімо так, підходи до підтримки розвитку біометану в Європі. Я знаю, що нам про це сьогодні трошки розкажуть. В Україні багато вже існуючих біогазових комплексів можуть бути, скажімо так, модернізовані до статусу виробників біометану. І ми бачимо, що десь до 200 мільйонів кубометрів природного газу можна буде, біометану з них виробляти. І така карта є потенціалу, вона запозичена у наших колег з Асоціації біоенергетики. Дякуючи ним, ведеться теж така системна робота по аналізу потенціалу України, і ми раді з ними співпрацювати. Оператор ГТС готовий працювати з усіма інвесторами у біометановій галузі, які зацікавлені до приєднання до газової інфраструктури. Ми сприятимемо розвитку цього сектору, приєднанню до інфраструктури за умови, дійсно, збереження задоволення усіх технологічних параметрів, які відзначені в Кодексі газотранспортної системи. Дякую за увагу.
Шановні колеги, я вважаю, що ми підійшли до основної доповіді і пропоную надати слово пану Мартіну зараз. Дякую. Martin, the floor is yours.
Okay, perfect for your presentation, Nicola. I would like to say hello for everyone in Ukraine. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak Ukraine. That's my fault. I'm sorry for this. So I can follow my presentation in English. Let me know, the translation is simultaneous, or should I make some pauses for the translation to Ukraine language? Okay, I will follow. So I am in the biogas and biomethane industry more than 10 years. And my personal journey to find biomethane was really very strange, because I'm an investor to the agriculture and waste AD plant in Czech Republic. And just before the starting the operation, we have lost our contract for CHP. So our business model was absolutely in red light numbers, and we have to decide what to do next. And thanks to this situation that for someone could be negative, we have found the biomethane, and we have found him 10 years before the market would like to speak and would like to introduce biomethane to the energy sector in the Czech Republic. I've been traveling across all Europe. I have been in all states and more than 40 biomethane production plants to learn how is the best ways for producing the biomethane, and of course how is the best solution for selling the biomethane to the European market. So thanks to these facts, we have decided to start the biomethane production also in our plant in Czech Republic. And our plant was the first biomethane plant in the Czech Republic. I have sold this company before 2 years, and now I am working as a free consultant and free investor in the market. I am a member of the Czech Biomass Association, which represents the biomethane and biogas sector in the Czech Republic. And I am in a very close cooperation also with the European Biogas Association and with the European Commission. In the European field and the European energy market, I am a member of the Biomethane Industrial Partnership. It's a partnership that I will be talking in several seconds later. And I'm also working in the working group for the European Commission for BioLNG and maritime. Is focusing to these low carbon gases and to the renewables in the CEE region. So thanks to the fact that I'm a Czech, I'm active in Slovakia, in Poland, in Hungary, and I am very interested in cooperation with Ukraine because I think it is not new information for you that European Commission is looking to Ukraine as a potential very impressive player in the hydrogen and biomethane energy sector. So we are providing business plans, feasibility studies, and certification for other investors and owners. We are offering venture capital, financing your biomethane project, or we can help you with a biomethane purchasing, selling, or tendering procedures with a biomethane technology. In the Czech Republic and in Slovakia, we are also working and very active in the circular waste economy and in the field in energy savings and renewables. So I would like to show you how the European Commission and West Europe, West Europe, it is from Germany to the west. I see that Czech Republic and Visegrad are not a part of the West Europe. So the future for the gas sector, if we can see the horizon 2030 or 2035 or 2050, is not in the natural gas. Natural gas has no future in horizon 2050 because European states are looking only for sustainable and renewable energy. You can see, for example, with my friend with a Guidehouse, it's a London-based company. We have prepared for the European Commission the strategy about the gas consumption in the European countries. So you can see that the consumption of natural gas will decrease and will be replaced with the biomethane and hydrogen. It's important to mention that if we talk about the hydrogen and biomethane, we are of course talking only about the sustainable biomethane and sustainable hydrogen. So it is not hydrogen produced from natural gas. The gas future in European countries is influenced by the European Commission policy framework that is represented by the Green Deal on the beginning, with a Renewable Energy Directive, the Fit for 55 initiative, Repower EU, and at the end, it is a Biomethane Industrial Partnership. It's a new partnership that was announced this summer in the Brussels, and the target of this partnership is to produce 35 billion cubic meters of sustainable biomethane, latest at 2030, as a replacement of the fossil gas imported to the European Union from Russia. that is from Brussels, from the official launching this partnership. And as you can see, also the Kadri Simpson, the commissioner for the energy, and the vice president Franz Timmermans sees in a longer future that Europe as a continent and European state members cannot produce enough biomethane, and this is the reason why all European Commission and European countries are looking to the Ukraine as a potential market with hydrogen and biomethane production that could be imported and used in the European countries. In Czech Republic, we are starting with a promoting and production with biomethane. Now we have only 2 plants that are operating, and they are injecting the biomethane to the Czech gas grid. We have 20 new biomethane plants that are in construction and will be commissioned the next year or in the 2024. In Czech Republic, there is 250 biogas plants that are potential producing the biomethane, and also there is a potential for 600 other plants. Czech Republic, as in nearly all other European countries, has a potential on replacement about 10 or 20% of the current consumption of the fossil gas by biomethane. And this is an example that we can talk about. It is a typical agriculture biogas plant in Litomyšl. It is a small town in the Czech Republic. And all you can see on the picture, it is a complete technology that we have built in this agriculture biogas plant. It's a very small technology that is fit in 2 containers. And as you can see, it's a very clever and small technological solution that could be placed in a very close to the household and to the city. The technology is very simple, and this is the reason why a lot of agriculture biogas plant producers are thinking about the replacement, the cogeneration production of heating power to the biomethane. They have roughly main 2 reasons why they would like to choose the biomethane production instead of CHP. The first one is return of investment. It's a question of money. It's a question of value that the producer can get from the biomethane instead of power from the CHP. The second reason, it is not typical, but it could be in case that the biogas plant could have technical production with the CHP units. Also in this case is a very clever solution to start and think about the biomethane production, because technically it's a very simple technology based on the nanomembrane separation of gases, and it's a very cheap for operation if you compare it with a CHP operation costs. Many as a first, so I can show you how I see is possible to sell your biomethane to the European countries for the highest level, for the highest price. You have, if you are selling the biomethane, it's a molecule of methane, so it's the same as you can sell the natural gas. So you are selling the commodity, energy commodity, according to the European natural gas index, for example, TTF, and you can switch between the spot contract or future contract with a fixed price for a quarter, for a half a year, or for several years. The second value of biomethane is the emission savings. If we can compare, for example, in euros, current price of biomethane on the European market for the next year, it means for the 2023, the gas as a future contract is selling roughly about 130 euros per megawatt, and the value, the greening value of the biomethane, representing by POS, proof of sustainability, is about 60 or 70 euros per megawatt. This is the value that you are getting plus the value of the gas commodity.
О, все, з телефону вийшло.
Sorry? No, some technical problem, sorry. So the second one is emission savings. The third one is a guarantee of origin. Guarantee of origin is an electronic or paper document that is providing the information to the energy consumer about the origin of the energy. The guarantees of origin is issuing some EU registry. EU registry for GOO of biomethane is in all European countries, and in this type of document, you are providing information that your gas that you are selling to the European Union is a renewable gas, and the gas was unsubsidized in the point of production. So the most value for the future market, as I can see, is the carbon intensity of the biomethane. So it is the second possibility, emission savings. And for maximizing this type of incomes for you is necessary to meet all criteria about the certification. It means you have to fulfill the certification criteria according to Renewable Energy Directive, and you as a biomethane producer are issuing the proof of sustainability. It is also paper or electronic document, and in this document you are providing all information about your biomethane to your buyer. It could be end user or trader or broker or another company from trading. In this POS, there is an information about your feedstock, about the carbon intensity, and the carbon intensity is one value that is dedicated to your specific biomethane production, and it's represented by one number about the emissions in CO2 equivalent per megajoule of your selling energy. The certification is a necessary condition for selling biomethane to European Commission. For the first time, you have prepared your personal documentation when you can show how you are meeting the targets of renewable energy directive in quality management system, and how you are fulfilling or requirements for biofuel certifications. And the second step, you are going through the certification process. European Union recognize 14 voluntary certification schemes, but for biomethane trading, I can recommend you only this 5. This 5 system, it means ISCC, KZR, RedCert, RSB, and DBS, has signed a mutual recognition. So if you have the value chain of biomethane, each part of the biomethane value chain, it means the production, transportation, trading, business, and using, for example, in the transport sector, and each part of the value chain can be certified by one of these 5 certification schemes. That's a new information for the market players, because till 2021 was necessary the whole value chain should be certified only in one certification scheme, and for this purpose, for example, ISCC certification schemes was about 85% of the market. The third step of the selling biomethane is calculation and verification the sustainability criteria and calculation the greenhouse gas emissions. It is the carbon intensity of biomethane that we have been talking before several seconds. And when you have the certifications, you are producing biomethane, so you are proof that you have fulfilled all the requirements of biofuels for the European Union. You can sell and transport the biomethane to the European Union. For the general market review, it is all from me, and I'm looking for your question. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Martin, for your introduction. I'd like to start, before we get any questions, I actually don't see any questions raised as of now. I kindly ask the technical people to let me know how do I get in touch with text questions, which I hope are coming now. But let me start by asking you my question. Looking back at what you experienced in Czech Republic, what was the most crucial positive factor for the companies to make this decision of investment into biomethane production factories? And what exactly would you do completely different? What was your key mistake, if I may call it this way? So just give us an overview of your experience, historical experience, of positive and negative.
Yes, of course. I will start with the negative experience, and the negative experience was during the tendering procedure, when we have to decide which technological producer we will use for our plant. We have been mostly only focusing on the capex, and it was the mistake that I will never repeat in the future. And it was that we changed in the tendering procedure in other projects that we are developing, because that is very important to focus on the operational cost and operational incomes. So we have this, if I could turn back time, I will choose another technological provider for my biogas plant. The positive is that me as a producer or anyone else can switch between the power production, heat production, and biomethane production. You can every time in the future switch to the electricity or to the gas, and each of these two markets has some positive and negatives, and it's more comfortable for everyone producer if he can choose the production and the market according to the market situation, if it's better for him to produce electricity or gas. The gas, from my point of view, has a lot of positive factors, especially its storaging energy and easy way of transportation energy. In electricity, it has some technical problems, but in gas, I don't see it. About the national point of view, it means from our government, we are at the beginning. I've been studying the systems of supplying, of trading, of certification, biomethane in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Netherlands, in Finland, mostly in all European countries. And the legislative framework should be in compliance with the rest of the energy policy and with the rest of the legislative region of the country, of each country. So there is no unification advice that everyone could give you how is the best for promoting biomethane in Ukraine, for example.
Thank you. We have some questions in the chat. First one will be from Mr. Zhupanin, member of parliament, who is accelerating biomethane topic in Ukraine. So
yes,
said,
thank you, Mikola.
Okay.
Well, I'll ask my
welcome.
question. Hi, Martin. Yeah, sorry for the noise in the background because I didn't have electricity in my office, so I had to go to the nearest cafe, and that's why you may hear some noise. But nevertheless, I want to thank you for the presentation. It's very helpful for me to listen to that because I was the main author of the draft law on biomethane, and with the support from Operator ГТС Ukraine and also Biogas Association, we did that very successfully. So we are now waiting for new projects to operate in the country. As far as I understand, as far as I listened to your presentation, you said you have more than 600 of biogas production plants in Czech Republic, but only 2 biomethane plants that are now working. Could you please clarify that? Is that correct? And if yes, what are the reasons there are just few biomethane gas productions right now in Czech Republic? Thank you.
Yes, that's right. There is a 550 biogas plant in the Czech Republic, and all of them are producing the electricity and has a long-term contract for the electricity production and supporting electricity production from biogas. And this is why the owners don't need to decide now. The supporting system is valid to the year 2030 or 31. So they have more than 7 years for producing electricity and selling the electricity with a very high price. And only some of them are thinking about the switching to biomethane production now or in the next year. We are in a close cooperation with our Czech government, and we are promoting for the next year the new subsidy for biomethane production, and we expect to have about 20 or 40% of the market will switch to the biomethane production till 2027.
$100 of production plants?
Yes, 100, 150. It's roughly our estimation.
In a 5 years, yeah?
Yeah, in a 5 years, exactly. I see no future for the rest of plant after the ending the supporting the electricity production from biogas. It means after 2030 or 2031. It will be the time when the rest of the AD plants will switch to biomethane too, or they will close the operation of the plant. This is the typical situation that we can see, for example, in Austria market, in German market, after ending the supporting the electricity production from biogas.
Okay, we have one more question from Mr. Gilitucha from Ukrainian Bioenergy Association.
I can also.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, please.
Yeah.
But not all the question. Let's choose one, the most important one.
Yeah, but I have some. Okay, one is about production of biomethane from lignocellulosic material. It's the biggest part of our biomethane potential. I mean, straw, corn stalks, sunflower stalks. This is the most acceptable materials for biomethane production. But technologies is not very developed for this. What is your opinion? What are the perspectives of production of biomethane from such kind of material? Thank you.
Okay. I can divide my answer in two parts. The first, technologically, I see that it could be not a problem. It's a question about the technology that you can add to your AD plant. You have to cut and divide the lignocellulose material, and also you have to add some other type of feedstock for the better biogas production. The second part was about the market value of the biomethane produced from lignocellulose. I can recommend you to read the appendix. Sorry. Yeah. Perfect. I have a great echo. Perfect. Thank you. And regarding this link, please see the Appendix 9 from the Renewable Energy Directive. And the Appendix 9, you can see all materials or feedstock that are approved for sustainable biomethane production. And if you will produce the biomethane from this feedstock, your biomethane will be advanced. And advanced biomethane has a much higher price, a much higher value, because of the carbon intensity is much lower than biomethane produced from coarse silage, for example.
Okay, my second question is exactly about silage, corn silage. At the moment, this is one of the most popular raw material for biogas production in Ukraine, and Ukraine has huge agricultural territory which may be used for silage very easy, and technology is available, and the cost of silage is relatively low in Ukraine, and we practically don't see competition with the food in Ukrainian conditions, because we have quite big number of agricultural land, like 32 million hectares, and we permanently do not use 4 million hectares. With this existing 4 million hectares of unused land, we don't see competition with the food. But at the same time, we know about this requirement of Annex 9 Annex 9 Directorate 2, and of course, silage is not in this list. And this is a dilemma for us. We can produce a lot of biomethane easy from silage, or we should wait this new technology which will be available for lignocellulosic material, which is not absolutely clear when it will happen. Then in our opinion, it maybe will be easier for us to produce biomethane and from silage and to use it on the local Ukrainian market. Okay, what do you think about this?
Yeah. The biogas from energy crops you can use for the CHP that you will operate, for example, only on your demand. So you will produce electricity and power only for AD plant requirements and needs. And the rest of the feedstock you can use for biomethane production. It's a question of right certification preparation and certification your biomethane as advanced and as non-advanced. And then you can use non-advanced biomethane for the energy production for the biomethane plant, and advanced biomethane for trading and selling. I think it's a question about the certification and about the calculation of carbon intensity of your biomethane produced from energy crops. The biomethane production plant that you have seen on the picture, I made a calculation and certification, advanced biomethane from energy crops and non-advanced from energy crops and advanced from the manure and maize. The carbon intensity from manure and maize was minus 25%, and the carbon intensity of biomethane from energy crops was plus 65% regarding to fossil gas. Then the market will give you an information how is the price of the biomethane from energy crops and how is the price of your biomethane from waste residues, for example. And then you can decide what is the best solution for you.
Thank you, Martin. I have a question from my side. You, as an investor in biomethane projects, what's in your focus when you're looking on a prospective projects? I know that today with us presented co-investors or founders or developers of the biomethane or biogas projects in Ukraine, and for them could be interested to know how to attract partners from EU, and to know on what parameters, on what figures, on what facts investors from Europe looking on when they're trying to make a final decision about a prospective project on biomethane in Ukraine.
Yes. Me and other investors are looking for the time when you about the return of investment and how is the risk of the project. And we are every time comparing this two things, the return of investment and the risk of the project. My personal decision was to invest only to biomethane project with a sustainable biomethane production. It means I don't invest money to the project with energy crops as mainly feedstock for biomethane production. And as I see a strategy of other investors, all are doing the same. They don't invest to the project that are not in line with the EU taxonomy, and the energy production from energy crops are out of the taxonomic criteria. So for investors, it's a very risky business, and we can see that these projects can be in 2 or 3 years terminated for insuring, for investing in the European market.
And what about figures or technical parameters? So installed capacity minimum, which is interesting. DSO or TSO connection. May you describe a little bit more key parameters, which is like optimal or interesting to work with?
Yeah, it depends in each country or the national legislative framework and technical framework that is given by TSO and the DSO for biomethane plant connection. The Czech Republic adopted the system of technical parameters for connection, the biomethane production to the DSO or TSO network, according to the German and Netherlands scheme. It means the national budget can pay for the connection up to 2 kilometers distance from the DSO and TSO network. In case that the connection is longer, the production plant will pay the cost up to 2 kilometers. And regarding the size, from 100 cubic meters per hour of biomethane production, and the maximum, it's only a question about the contract that you are able to sign for your production. We have invested in 2 plants with electricity capacity in a CHP of 3 megawatt hours, and it doesn't matter if it is 3 megawatts, 1 megawatt, or 500 kilowatts, for example. Technically, it is nearly the same with the biomethane production.
Thank you, Martin. I see that there are some hands raised. First question is from Євгеній Колос, наш колега Євген Колос. Якщо можна, будь ласка, озвучте, включіть відео, також, і озвучте своє питання самостійно. І далі ми маємо питання від пана Сергія у чаті. So, Martin, later on, we will read the question from the chat.
Не цікаво. От є у нас точки, які
Thank you very much, colleagues, for such opportunities. For us, of course, we understand that our future is biomethane, and for us, like for me, like for technical specialized of metrology, very interesting, of course, the mines of Czech Republic for biomethane gas and for natural gas, and how we have the difference between, and how we solve a problematic with composition of natural gas and biomethane gas.
Ну, яка різниця? 2 дні на 2 дні. Добре.
Yes, I think it is a question not on me. It's a question on DSO, or TSO, and it's a question: how is the gas grid network in the point of connection? Sometimes it's possible to add propane or butane to for the high heating value, set it according to the condition on the gas grid. Sometimes it is not necessary, but it's a question on DSO.
Okay, maybe, okay, anyway, thank you for your answer, but maybe your regulatory commission and regulatory law demand of, you have a strict rules, demands to biomethane gas, I mean, as a composition, or only the DSO solve such problematic, or solve such technical agreement, something else? Thank you.
In Czech Republic, there is only high heating value natural gas grid network. So our technical condition is a minimum of 95% of methane in biomethane. And also we have very strictly regulation about the other components of biomethane. I can share with you all legislative and technical framework in case you have it. You don't have it, no problem.
Okay. Well, actually, this is one of the key questions for Ukraine, and we are now rethinking the quality regulation for all the gases coming through our system. Because of biomethane, because of the change on the market regarding the change with share of Russian gas supply towards Europe, we see that there will be discussion between many TSOs about the change in standards for quality of gas. But Evgenia, I promise we will find out what is the experience in legislative documents in Czech Republic, hopefully with the help of Martin, but we will also provide you with some overview of other countries. This is important that we acknowledge their experience. So the next question is from Sergey, which is related from Martin. Do you see in chat this question?
No, I don't see it.
Sergey, would you rather say it in person? Would you be willing to ask this question yourself, or do you want me to read it? Well, I don't know who is. Sorry, I have a problem with mic. Okay, Martin, I'm reading the question to you. So Martin, could you say about existing premium to biomethane comparing to TTF or another market price basis? Is it in absolute terms plus XX euro, megawatt, or relative to market price, meaning percentage, which is the more popular and widely used? And what is the average duration of the contracts with green premium? Can you advise us on this market strategy?
Of course. It's very difficult to say simply. It's a question about the type of the contract. I can I can give you an example. The last contract that we have signed was a future contract for the next year, for 2023, sorry. And we have sell the biomethane according to current TTF future. It was 2,131 euros per megawatt. It's a fixed price for the next year. And the bio premium we have sell in a value of 67 euros per megawatt hour. It was only a fixed price for the next year, and this fixed price was negotiated thanks to the results of certification and the carbon intensity of the biomethane. I'm not sure that if I've mentioned that the certification is valid only for 1 year, and for the next year you have to recertify your biomethane because of something could change in your biomethane production regarding on the feedstock, regarding on the energy consumption, regarding on the heating of the fermenters, for example. You can cover the final tank of digestate, for example, and all these things has a great influence on the carbon intensity, and of course has an influence on the price that you can get as a bio premium for your biomethane.
Okay, well, I don't see any other questions for now, but let me ask you a provocative question, a little bit provocative. Martin, with the changes of war in Ukraine and with obvious decrease of reliability and interest, of Russia and interest of European traders to buy and engage from Russia, how do you think it will impact the situation with biomethane? What is your prognosis? Will people invest more? Will they try to invest more into hydrogen? What is your prognosis of political trends and change of political narrative around biomethane? And second question would be, if you have to pick one country in Europe which is a role model in terms of the way how regulations were increasing interest of investors to create more biomethane factories, which country would you single out, and which one would you pick to show that they are looking for more of trans-border trade, meaning not only producing for their own use, but either buying from other countries or selling their own biomethane to other countries in Europe or elsewhere? Thank you.
Okay, so the first question was about my expectation
Russia.
of political framework for Russia in the future. From my point of view, it's sure that Russia is for many years to the future out of the European interest and is unable to get the Russia back to the table for negotiating, for business cooperation, etc., etc. It's a question about the future of Vladimir Putin as a representative of Russia. It's a question of terminating the Russian war in Ukraine, and it's for me. And I can explain. I think you also know that in my country was a Russian army and the Russian soldiers more than 20 years, and we are very happy that we have no one of Russian soldiers in the Czech Republic. So from countries like Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, that was in the spectrum of influence of the Russia and the Soviet Union. It's a crucial question that we are not able and we don't want to speak with Russia in case that we will have soldiers in Ukraine, and we are using our influence in the European Commission and the European Parliament to keep the common statement from Franz Timmermans and from Ursula von der Leyen to be very aware and very sensitive on this question. For us, Vladimir Putin and his soldiers is something absolutely unexpectable. So it was the first question. The second one was about cross-border
Martin,
trading.
if I may, do you think it will help us to create more opportunities for biomethane? Do you see stronger support from European Commission because of the war in Ukraine, because of the new, very obvious role of aggressor of Russia instead of stable supplier of natural gas? What is your prognosis? Will it create new wave of investment or not? Or do you think it will, just go as before the war?
Yeah. From the European Commission, I don't see the possibility to invest to Ukraine because it's a political act. I think that Europe will choose the strategy to invest to the business based in European countries, to support companies as investors to Ukraine. I see that there is a potential for private investment in Ukraine, but not for the official investment of the European Commission. It means a lot of private-owned companies can invest to the Ukraine, but not the European Commission, before the ending of war with Russia, of course. Was it what you are asking me?
Yeah, more or less. But then the next question is the country with regulation and the country which is eager to expand its cross-border trade.
Denmark, Netherlands, France, and Italy. These countries has a very well and very clever technical and legislative and business framework for biomethane production. And each of this country has a different system, absolutely different system. In Italy, there is for example, contract between the state, AD plants and biomethane plants, and transport sector about the transferring the GHG emissions from production to the transport sector. Germany has another type of market, also the Netherlands and France. What is important? All these countries supported biomethane in 2014, 2015, for example. It takes a long time to promote and develop the biomethane sector. It is not a question for 2-3 years, for example.
Okay.
And of
Пане
course,
Гелітуха.
you was asking to cross-border trading. All these countries are trading biomethane, are selling or are importing biomethane. For example, Netherlands is a huge producer, but also a lot of Netherlands companies are buying biomethane from Sweden, for example.
Окей, пане Гелітуха, наступні питання ваші.
Thank you very much. I have actually three questions. First, about a connection with gas distribution system. In Ukraine, very typical problem when we cannot submit all produced biomethane in summertime. Our distribution networks, especially in agricultural areas, has no big consumption in the summertime. And biomethane plants should be it is needed to limitate possible production of biomethane, not to exceed this summer limit of the gas distribution system. And we saw that in France there is decision for this problem, reverse flow compressors, which they are installing to submit gas from distribution to transition system. That first question about this, what do you think about this, and is it your recommendation to do the same in Ukraine? Second simple question, what is the requirements of oxygen in biomethane in Czech Republic? In Ukraine, it is 1% for distribution system and 0.2% for gas transition system. And my 1% is okay, but 0.2% is a little bit low and not so easy to reach. That question about this. And third, about biomethane register. Ukraine is establishing now biomethane register. And do you think that it is absolutely needed? And do you think that it is needed its connection, future connection with European biomethane register, ERGAR? Thank you.
Yeah. I will start with your latest question. I think it is not necessary, but it can help your industry to promote biomethane production in Ukraine. Every producer from Ukraine can be a member of the registry in a European country, in Slovakia, in Czech Republic, in Germany, everywhere. And in this registry will be issuing your guarantees of origin according to the data and information from DSO or TSO where your biomethane will be injected. Then you have to transport the biomethane from the Ukrainian network to the virtual trading point in the border with Slovakia. And in this point, the biomethane enter the European Union, and from the virtual trading point in the Slovakia border are valid European parameters and European condition for trading biomethane. About the ERGAR, ERGAR is a one possibility, but there are some other platforms where you can trade biomethane cross-border in European Union and out of the European Union. ERGAR is a project of European Biogas Agency. There is I think 2 or 3 other platforms that would like to be established as the official platform for European Commission for cross-border trading biomethane. This question was not solved yet, so I cannot tell you if the ERGAR will be the official platform for cross-border trading. My opinion is that it will be ergar. It could happen in next year, over the next year. Nobody knows when it could happen. So, but you don't need to be an ergar member if you would like to trade biomethane and to the European Union. Now I forgot your first and second question. Sorry, can you repeat it?
Second is oxygen. Oxygen in
oxygen.
biomethane.
Understand, oxygen and the reverse flow in the summer season. This question should answer only DSO and TSO, no one else. There are a big difference in technical connections in countries in European Union. In Czech Republic, we are testing the reverse flow in the summer season. There, I think there is no other technical possibility how to produce biomethane to the local network in the summer season. So the DSO and TSO should start the reverse flow in the summer season, and will be the question about the negotiation who will pay for the operational cost in the summer for the reboosting the reverse flow in summer. About the oxygen, it is all very different situation in each country. I cannot imagine if in my country it is a 0.something% for oxygen, or it is a 1%. I can check the technical documentation and will share it with you.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
May I put one short question? Actually, it's about comparing of biomethane pipeline injection and biomethane LNG production. What do you think about it? Maybe some locations or some projects gonna estimate themselves as a bio LNG producers and use trucks for logistics of such energy carrier. What is your advice? How to make this choice? When it should be LNG with trucks and when it should be pipelines?
The pipeline is the best solution from my point of view. In case you have biomethane in the network, you can choose your final market when you will sell the biomethane, and you will of course choose the sector where you will sell the biomethane. And it's a complex question about your feedstock, about your OPEXs for LNG production or gas grid injection, and all these should be calculated in your business plan. In some plans, we will start the LNG production, and it is the different situation because we have the target for the transport sector. How you can resolve the GHG savings that are in target for the transport sector in the European Union, but you have to transport the LNG to the European Union market. And of course, if you have the biomethane in the pipeline, you have the liquefied the biomethane from the gas grid in the European Union, for example, in Germany, and you can sell the bio-LNG in Germany from the grid.
Build on the question of Mikola, but when you decide between the pipeline transportation of biomethane and LNG, Are there any differences in terms of pricing, registration, certification, and regulations, or is it the same, the very same, approach in terms of selling it specifically to Germany?
Yeah, thanks to clarifying the question. It is the same. It is the same for the LNG or for gas grid injection. In both ways, you meet to fulfill all criteria and standards. And it is a question about the final market. It could be, for example, heating production or transport sector. And all these markets has a little bit different targets and condition how they can use the biomethane. For example, for the industry and heating production, you can use the biomethane non-advanced, for example, biomethane from energy crops. For the transport sector, you can use only biomethane according to Appendix 9, Red 2, it means advanced biomethane, etc., etc. There are some other difference, but generally, when you would like to enter the biofuel to European market, it doesn't matter. It is through the gas grid network or by LNG truck, for example.
Okay. Mr. Gilitucha, I see your hand raised. Does it mean that you have another question? Yeah. Okay. Please go ahead.
Even two, if possible. One question about openness of European market for Ukrainian biomethane. Talking with some traders, we heard that, for example, German market is closed. It seems France market is closed for export from Ukraine, maybe, and from other countries as well. That my question. What will be the future of this situation? Is it is there plans to open this market? I'm most interested export from Ukraine to EU countries. And the second question about the price of biomethane. Now is a favorable time for biomethane because high prices on the natural gas. And there is prognosis that some years it will be the same situation. But the question, what will be if, for example, in 3-5 years, natural gas prices will down? What will be the future in biomethane in the situation with low prices of the natural gas?
Yeah. I don't think that the German market is closed for Ukrainian biomethane.
Because
German,
it's from traders.
Yeah. It could be some business strategy. From my point of view, the German market is open to every sustainable biomethane with a proof of sustainability, with the certification, and with the guarantees of origin. In case you will produce biomethane in Ukraine and you will be able to fulfill and prove all requirements according to Red 2, and you will be able to issuing proof of sustainability, and you will be able to give guarantees of origin, you can enter the German market, you can enter every market in the European Union. Now, there is no change are needed for you to enter the German or any other market now. Everything is possible, everything is clear, and everything is open. I can give you an offer. For example, you can sell your biomethane to me, and I can sell your biomethane to German market. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And about price?
about the price. Now the situation is very complicated thanks to the high volatility of the natural gas market. That's absolutely clear. You know about it, everything. So I don't need to explain the market situation. The same situation is about the biomethane. My personal expectation about the future value of the natural gas in the European Union is that the prices will not decrease under the 80 or 85 euros per megawatt per natural gas. It's a question of the gas imported to the European market in LNG form from other countries such as Canada, United States, Qatar, North Africa, etc., etc. And this prices has a very big influence of the average price of the natural gas in the European Union. So my expectation is that the future prices will be about 80, 90 euros or 100 euros. But on these prices, we will get in 2025-26, for example. But it's only my personal expectation.
Okay, well, I don't see any other questions or hands raised, which probably means that you have given us enough of information to think and come back to you later. But I would like to give kind of a last chance to our colleagues, specifically colleagues from TSO, to come up with some questions while I'm doing a little bit of summary of our discussion. I think, well, it's interesting that we gradually shifted into English, even though, as I said at the very beginning, we are extremely happy with our own language and proud of it. And we think it's one of the most beautiful languages in the world. But this is also to say that Ukraine is very eager and ready to cooperate with international partners to see more factories and units being installed in Ukraine. And this conclusion is widely supported in a lot of political speeches by members of associations, which is successfully chaired by Mr. Gelituha. We already see that all his questions are extremely precise, very knowledgeable and informative by themselves. So as a way of summarizing, Martin, I would like to, on behalf of our group, I would like to first to thank you for finding time and sharing information with us. Yes, but also asking you whether you see any particular steps that our group should take to make sure that more Czech, European, American investors are coming to Ukraine, even despite the war. I think we are all in agreement that biomethane is, one of the few, unfortunately, very few opportunities which is of mutual interest both to Ukraine and to Europe. How do we make it happen, even at the time of war? How do we make, special guarantees and technical cooperation more possible right now? What is your opinion on that? And if anybody from the audience has any additional questions, please raise your hand as Martin is taking his time to summarize the conclusions for these events on his side. Thank you.
Okay. The answer is you have to find the right investors that are ready to invest to your plans just now, today. And from my point of view, it doesn't matter that you are in a war. There are a lot of country which is not under the high attack, and for some investors, it's a big and great opportunity to enter the Ukrainian market with biomethane production. I can recommend you to join the Biomethane Industrial Partnership platform. In this platform, we have the one working group that is set it for transferring the best practices from the countries with the high biomethane production, from countries such as Italy, France, Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, and from the representative of Energy Regulatory Office, from DSOs, TSOs, producers, and from members of parliament or government. We are ready to start a very close cooperation with Ukraine, and we can give you an opportunity to meet a lot of investors, a lot of groups that could be interested in Ukrainian biomethane, and you will choose who is the best partner for you.
Okay, wonderful suggestion. I'd say I was pretty much sure that we are part of the platform by now. Is it company membership or country membership?
It doesn't matter just now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we are starting with this all working groups, and when all working groups will start operating, we will discuss the fulfillment of the targets. I think we can meet there, and we will find a perfect solution for you.
Okay. Once
I
again,
think,
I don't see any.
Sorry. I could recommend all biogas producers, TSOs, DSOs, to enter and join this initiative. It is free of charge, of course, and we have prepared the possibility to enter Ukrainian colleagues as a free membership in case that you are out of the European Union. It doesn't matter for us. We are interested in the business development, and I think we can bring high value for Ukraine, and also, of course, for the best part of European Union.
Okay, wonderful. Georgi, do you want to add a few?
Yes, maybe last question, if possible. I heard that now Directive RED 3 is under preparation, and this Annex 9 will be quite strongly revised, and the list of this material will be much broader. Do you know something concrete about this?
Yes, we are a part of the working group that is preparing the criteria for RED 3, also criteria for heavy-duty transport, for maritime sector, and for heating industry in Europe. And I can share this information with you in this platform. It's a open platform, open presentation. I will be happy to share this information with you personally, or in the working group in Biomethane Industrial Partnership. No problem.
Okay.
I personally submitted application to group 1 or second option group 2 of this platform, but nothing happened yet. At least I'm not invited in any of the group. Yeah, maybe later.
No. Please be patient. We are we are solving, and no one is apart just now. It was that I mentioned before that the regular operation of the working groups will be maybe in January 2023 started.
Okay, well, I'd like to finalize, to conclude this meeting by saying that yesterday when Mykola was asking me what is our expectation, what is our KPI for the meeting, what is our measurement of success, I just said that hopefully each and every of us will find out something new, interesting, and we will have a list of things to do. I personally have quite a few notes from this meeting and quite a few tasks for my colleagues of what has to be done. Thankfully for me, I will not be the one who will be doing it, but there is one thing which I have to do for myself. I would like to call it a success, and I would like to suggest that we have our next meeting with one of the representatives from the countries which were called by Martin successful role models for us, one of the 4 which we mentioned today, and we will try to find the company which is more directly linked to our activity, most probably TSO of one of these countries. And that would be a task for me to find a great speaker. Martin, if you can help us with that, we will be very grateful as well. Last but not the least, let me say that all of us are extremely grateful once again for your time and for the friendly support the Czech Republic is extending to Ukraine through this difficult time for Ukraine. We know that you are hosting many Ukrainians. We hope that they will also learn a lot about energy efficiency and new energy in Czech Republic, and they will all come back inspired, enthusiastic, and with new partnerships, business partnerships coming to Ukraine. So with that in mind, let me thank everybody for attending, and until the next meeting, which we hope to announce very soon. Thank you so much, and bye-bye, and be safe, and have a wonderful day today. Bye-bye.